Good evening! In tonight's episode of Tasty Classics, you can win a Porsche on Christmas Day. It goes fast, it nearly goes wrong, it does go wrong. Can I make it right again? My sunny disposition is taking a battering. Good evening. Welcome to Tasty Classics. How are you doing? Are you well? So, I recently bought a Porsche. It's there. Some of you who watch like the podcast and other things will know that I've recently bought that car and follow me on social media and stuff, Facebook, Instagram, that type of thing. It's a 911 Carrera 2S. It's pretty cool, and I use it to get to work and back and stuff in, and occasionally go to the tip and things. I'm enjoying it a lot. You're going to get a video on it soon, but it's not ready yet because there's a few things that I want to do to it. Anyway, I didn't want you guys to feel left out, so I thought for the last raffle of this year, I would go out and find a Porsche and raffle it off so one of you guys can win it and it'll end on Christmas Day. So imagine that, you're sitting there having your Christmas dinner, check your emails, or you get a phone call from me and I go, come and pick your Porsche up, mate. So I needed to find one, but luckily I know where one is tucked away and waiting for a new owner. So I think we should go and get it. Fortunately, it's not very far away, this car. It's only up the road. It's a place where I get my MOTs done. And if you watched the Porsche 924 episode, my last Porsche that I bought, it was parked next to it. So if you see this little clip here, you can see a part of that car. A good friend of mine who goes by the name of Nicholas, and he lives up north somewhere. He came to me and said, Ben, you've been a really good boy this year. And I said, that's a bit of a weird thing for one grown man to say to another, isn't it? So together, we're going to learn about this car, all right? We're going to learn about it in a way that sort of no other car channels hopefully do. Going to do something a little bit different, and if you want to get your ticket in early, the link is in the description, so you can head over there and get yourself a ticket before you've even seen the car. I don't think it'll help your odds in any way, but you can. Anyway, we're going to get this car, we're going to give it a good clean, make sure it's all right, make sure it's ready for its new owner, ready for the road, and ready for tomorrow at Oulton Park to give it a proper test. There's a track day on, and I thought, let's resurrect this car from its slumber and take it straight to a racetrack. What could possibly go wrong? At least the weather's nice. Now we're talking. This is a 1999 986, that's like the model number, Porsche Boxster 2.5. Now, I think it's dead cool. It's got a hardtop as well, which is super smart, and it has been sat here. It occasionally gets taken out on the weekend and you know, that sort of stuff, but over the last few years, it's pretty much just sat here and not done a lot of work. Rob's maintained it super highly. It's been on a battery maintainer, it's been on everything just to keep this thing nice, and it's been in here, and I'm told that underneath and stuff is proper clean. But we will be getting it up in the air on the ramp and having a look shortly. Before I get this thing fired up, or attempt to get this thing fired up and drive it on out of here, and you can come with me and we'll take it back to the workshop. Before that, I just want to say a couple of things that are quite important. Now, this is not a poor man's Porsche, right? This is, when Boxsters were sort of, you know, this is 1999, sort of in the mid-2000s, there was a bit of a stigma, oh, it's a poor man's Porsche, poor man's Porsche. This car saved Porsche, right? If it wasn't for this car, we might not have Porsche as we know it now. Genuinely. And if you like 911s and you don't like Boxsters, then you're wrong, right? If it wasn't for this car, you wouldn't have your 911. And so many parts of this car are 996 911s, you know? Headlights, bonnet, wings, it is all 911. You know, there's a lot of very similar stuff in this car. And if it wasn't for this, Porsche was struggling so much. They found it so hard to keep going. All throughout the 80s and into the late 80s, they were struggling in a massive way. You know, it's surprising, isn't it, on a car brand that is so, you know, renowned and everybody loves. The problem is they only really had the 911, and they were selling it in such small numbers that they just weren't making enough money. It was as simple as that, you know. They were just selling not enough volume of cars, because 911s are quite expensive. And what they'd done is they just developed the 911 to look pretty much exactly the same over the years, you know, and people were like, well, how come the car looks pretty much exactly the same, but it's just getting massively expensiver, you know? Why are we buying this thing? The real petrol heads knew that it was getting better and better and it was an amazing car, but trying to sell that to the public, a car that looks the same but is now more expensive. But what they were doing is they were developing it. They were put, you know, loads of things change on the 911s between each sort of model, tons of things, but they do look pretty much the same. It's a great strategy though. Volkswagen have been using it on the Golf for donkey's years, and the Golf has never had massively dramatic styling changes. Maybe between stuff like the 3 and the 4, maybe, or the 4 and the 5, some dramatic styling changes there, but not massive. It still retained that sort of shape and stuff. And it's the same with Porsches, and that's why they hold the value so well. It's a strategy that works for holding their value. The 928, the 944, the 968, which is one of my favourite Porsches of all time. My favourite Porsche of all time is the 959, which looks like this. I think that's the coolest thing ever. But I do like the 968s as well. But all those cars in the 80s were costing Porsche money. They weren't making them money. They just weren't selling enough for the development costs and, you know, warranty-wise and sort of all that sort of stuff. All the costs that go into selling a brand new car. They just weren't really doing it for them. So all those cars were costing them money. And they got to this stage where they only really had the 911, you know? And they were like, what can we do? And they wanted to build something that looked like a 911, looked like a Porsche, maintained a lot of 911 stuff, but was different and cheaper. It's not a poor man's Porsche, it was just cheaper than a 911. It's still very expensive. So the equivalent of this car today is roughly 55,000. So if you wanted to go into a Porsche dealership now and buy a base model Boxster, it's going to set you back about 50,000, right, to get one. If you were to go into a Porsche dealership and buy a brand new 911, a base model, you're going to be looking about 100,000. So it's roughly half the price of a 911, which for, you know, back in 1996 when they launched this car, that was a big deal because it sort of meant that you could get yourself into a Porsche, into a really cool, because there was a lot of, you know, in 1996, in the market out there of new cars, there was a lot of choice for two-seater convertibles. There was a lot of them, you know, but Porsche wasn't in that market because they were in the supercar league with the 911. They needed to tap into this bit where a lot of volume was being sold. So they did. And yeah, I don't think it's a poor man's Porsche when now the equivalent would cost you £50,000. A poor man's Porsche now is probably a Mazda MX-5, isn't it? Brand new. you know what I mean? You sort of seeing what I'm saying? I think these are very, very good cars, and still, you know, quite an expensive thing. Finding a good example like this, which I'm told, again, we need to look through it properly, but I'm told is a really nice example. It's not easy. A lot of Boxsters have been, you know, put through the mill, unfortunately, when they get to this age. But this one looks pretty clean. Got the key. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, I've just accidentally opened the boot. Oh, hey, I wonder if that'll fit my car. That is very swanky, very, very nice. I have to drive carefully now. Just moving this transit out the way. But yeah, this is very nice. And this is an interesting thing about the Boxster. It has a boot. I'll get into why that's interesting when we get back to the workshop, but having a boot is something that the 911 doesn't have. It makes this a little bit more practical. But I want to get inside it. I don't know what these keys... I've got 2 keys with it. Got this one as well. Ah, haha. Okay. Oh, fancy. Black leather. God, look at that. That's nice. What's in there? Paperwork. Go through that later. Oh, very interesting. And again, this is another interesting bit about the Boxster. No seats in the back. Does this chair go back? Electric seats. Oh, nice. Okay, we're inside. So this is a soft top convertible. However, it has got a hard top on it, which is in mint condition and is very, very handy because it is winter. So you can just leave this thing outside. And then in the summer, take it off and use the roof, which is fun, isn't it? It's nice in here though. Handbrake says Porsche on it. That's handy. It's a 5-speed. Got tunes. Oh, Bluetooth as well. Well, that's half the battle then, isn't it? Don't have to do anything to this car. Cigarette lighter in there. Yep, lovely. Oh, these dials are iconic. That is such an iconic layout, and it's iconic to the Boxster, right? There was a game back in the day called Porsche Challenge, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that coming up. But these dials are iconic, and I remember them from that game. Some amazing marketing from Porsche at the time. Nice Stuttgart Porsche badge there. Stuttgart, where these things are built. Locking wheel nut. Very, very handy. We like seeing those, don't we? Can you get, is that a, how'd you get in there? Is that even a glove box? Okay, maybe it's not a glove box. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. More stuff, cables. Oh, I don't know what that is, but we'll close that. Got number plates down here. T365 SAP. So this is what's going back on the car. We're going to fit those when we get back to the workshop, because he's retaining the registration, so it's on a T plate. It's 1999. I think all that's left to do now is to see if this thing fires up. Key in there. Oh, foot on the clutch. 113,000 miles. Very smart. We've got a quarter of a tank of juice. Oil levels in the middle. So good. Oh, look at these. Look at this. Look, it's purple. How nice. Right then, will she start? Oh, listen to that. Is that saying that the boot's still open? I'll have to try and shut that. God, that sounds well. Sounds so good. Love it. This central exhaust pipe here was a massive thing for the Boxster back in the day. It was the only car on the road that had a central exhaust pipe, because the exhausts sort of came out the side of the engine being a Boxster, and then it was just easier for them to converge it into one. I'm going to have to secure this door better, and then we'll get this thing out of here. Okay, here we go. Into reverse, handbrake off. Oh, brakes are good. She is gorgeous. Such a nice looking car. Like the wheels on it, like everything about it. I like the colour, the hard top. Hard top really sort of ties it together, I think. Convertibles are nice, just seeing the black rag top, but having that silver hard top does make the difference. It's been parked up for a long time though, so it does need a serious clean, but we'll do that first, I think. First job, we'll get it cleaned up inside and out before we get it into the workshop. Let's gather our belongings and hit the road. Here we go, ski in my bit of warmth, because it is quite cold today. Oh, my little Boxster. God, first thing to note, it's a very nice driving position, you know. Very comfortable. I think we should go, I'm not going to go straight back to the workshop. Let's go and put some fuel in it. Let's go into Tarpo. Give it a chance to warm up a bit. It's not been used for so long, you know. Oh, so smooth. Nice. Where's the window switch? This is going to make someone a very nice Christmas present. Or shall I keep it? Can't keep everything. Can't keep everything. First impressions, it feels great. It's driving perfectly straight. Engine feels nice. I've only got up to sort of 2,500, 3,000 RPM before it warms up, and then you can do what you want to it. But the thing is with Porsches, you've got to let them warm up. Cars like this, you've got to let them warm up. The engines they're great. Oh, it sounds good, but it's really important to let them warm up. Same with my 911, 3,000 RPM until you're hot, 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 and then you can do what you want with it. Let's go for some of this juice. Your fuel goes in the front, not the back. Sounds sweet as. Just got a full tank of Motion lotion, the expensive Motion lotion, the 99. Gives you an extra 400 horsepower. Do these windscreen washer jets work? Oh! Bloody hell, those wipers are a bit violent, aren't they? Good God. Made a hell of a song and dance about that, didn't they? That one's not working very well, so we might get a couple of wipers ordered for it. We'll add that to the list. These wipers are probably a bit old and hard. Don't know how well you can see, but I didn't really find anywhere else to clip the camera on. But it is very nice, isn't it? Very straight. Right, we are warmed up. And we've got a straight bit of road. Oh, yes! Ignore that speed. Oh, we're doing 60 mile an hour, so fast. God, we got there so quickly, didn't we? 60 mile an hour. Oh, wow. That was really good. Yeah, look, fantastic, so good. That felt good getting there, didn't it? That felt really good. What a cool thing. Just from that short trip back then, I have surmised that it should be fine for a track day tomorrow, and I've booked it, which is nice. So I'll get all my stuff ready for that, but I'm excited. First thing though, I want to clean it and have a good look around it and see what's what. Ooh. Oh, nice. So we've got a boot in the front, spare wheel. If we had two of those, we could put them both on the back, couldn't we, for tomorrow? That'd be fun. Power steering, is that, by the looks of it? Yeah, something like that, I don't know. Oh no, brake fluid, .4. Might be the same, I don't know. Lots of tools and stuff, towing eye, which we'll need to put on for the track day tomorrow. So that goes in there. I'll just leave it there so I don't forget. But yeah, everything else, there's a HB pencil. Is that a Porsche? Oh no, it's not. I thought it was a Porsche pencil then. That'd be so cool, wouldn't it? But yeah, that looks pretty sweet. Make sure we've got plenty of that in. What lives under here? Oh, oh, battery. Nice big battery. That's pretty smart, isn't it? Okay, well, we've checked that fully. So I've just ordered a pair of wiper blades and an oil filter as well. It's had a service and stuff recently, but I think, just for my peace of mind, when I take it to the track day tomorrow, I'd like to know that it's got nice fresh oil in it. And it's going to be better for whoever owns it if I'm going to be nailing it round a track, that, you know, it's fairly well looked after. Fairly well looked after. So we've got, oh, the two levers there. That's working. Awesome. Oh, I love you, Dad. Lovely. I'll have to make sure he gets that back. And £1. I'll just put that in my pockets. Keep that. Okay, there you go. And we'll get rid of all the little bits in there. Less things that rattle around, the better. That's all cool. And there is, yeah, there's no glove box then. I thought there might be a glove box, but there isn't. But there's these things. They're on both sides. And here you have a little storage area, a little house for something. That's nice, isn't it? And that's where the wind deflector goes. But we'll give it a bit of a clean back there as well. Nice. Just getting to grips with some of the paperwork and having a look at the sort of mileage history on the MOTs. And it's done in the last almost 10 years, roughly 10,000 miles, so 1,000 miles a year, which is about right from what Rob was telling me he's been doing. So yeah, nice thing. And I've got the owner's manual for it, which is pretty cool, and a big book pack. And there's loads of stuff in here. I'm just going to have a little bit of a delve, see what we've got in terms of service history. I've separated all of this. This is just a rack of old MOTs and things, and this is loads of service history. And this is the service book, which goes up to 60,000. And then there's brake fluid changes and other stuff. And then a lot of it is like in here, there's like services at like Halfords and things, and a few other bits in the private garages and stuff like that. So lots of lovely service history. Ideally, it'd have been nice to see that book stamped all the way up, but I'll give it a stamp when I check it over now and sort of give it an oil change and stuff, and we'll put that in the book, so at least there's a bit more of a record going on then. But in here, there's a lot of other stuff, so you can sort of piece it all together, which is nice. So all in all, pretty pleased with my purchase so far. The only problem about this new tarmac is, like, when you do the tyres and you take the cap off, the cap looks exactly like a piece of this tarmac, and I lose them all the time. I've put it down somewhere. I should have put it in my pocket. Thankfully I've got a drawer full of them. But the tyres are all nice. They're all at 32, which is a bit high than you would want for the track day, but I want to get them at a nice base point. And I'll do a few sort of sighting laps tomorrow and then bring it back in and adjust the tyre pressures down if I need to. So while I'm just getting this thing clean so we can get a bit of a better look at it, let me tell you about a game called Porsche Challenge. Now this game came out when I was probably 10 years old. 1997 the game was released, and it was a masterstroke of marketing from Porsche. It was purely based around the Boxster. The game, you got to have different levels of Boxsters, different trims, different colours, different drivers, and you got to spin around some amazing tracks in these Boxsters, including the test track at Stuttgart, where these things are made and designed. And it was just such a great game, and I remember I played it at the time. I think I got like a free demo with it with the PlayStation, and I remember playing it at the time and thinking, these cars are the business. This is so cool. No other games had just, you know, there was no other manufacturers, no other two-seat convertibles that had their own games, you know, none of them, just this one. And it was so special. And those dials that you saw before on the car, they were just synonymous with the game. Everything, the wheels that are on this Porsche, again, I just remember them all from the game. It's pure nostalgia for me when I look at this car, and I'm so excited tomorrow. And this is one of the reasons why I want to take it round Oulton Park, is when I was 10 years old, I played with Porsche Boxsters going round tracks on the PlayStation, and now, sort of 20 years later, I get to do it in real life. And also, while I'm turning my gonads into ice cubes and washing this Boxster in the middle of winter, I just want to say a big thank you to the Patreoners. I do have a Patreon, the link is in the description. It's where you can see extra content of vehicle collections and cool things like that. And it's a nice little community on there. Sometimes we have a little chat, you know, it's good. And yeah, I just want to say thank you to the new ones that have joined up since the last lot on the Rascal videos. So I'm just going to put their names on the side of this car. And if you want to be part of that and have your name on the side of the car, then hit the link in the description and sign up. And sorry if you're still waiting for your sticker book as well, new Patreoners that have joined up, but I'm waiting for the packets to arrive, and they should have been here this week. So by the time I'm filming this, I should have been parcelling them up and getting them on their way to you. But anyway, big thank you for being a Patreoner. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to do it. So yeah, big thanks to all these new guys. Toolbox is all back together. Clean the boot out. Spunking now with, yeah? Real nice. I just want to fill this up before I close the bonnet though. That'll be nice. But the car's looking really sweet, isn't it? Just tackling the inside now. Just giving it a proper hoover and a wipe down of stuff. Henry's doing a sterling effort. Henry 240, just, you know, making waves in the hoovering world. Nice Porsche mats. Going to try and stick these back down properly as well. There has been attempts in the past. I might take these out for the track day tomorrow, to be honest. Don't want that moving around while I'm throwing it around Oulton Park, you know. And yeah, there's nothing that it wants inside. It's in really good nick. I mean, this is like a brand new Boxster in here. So clean. Every bit of it is so nice. I'm going to put that mat in the frunk. And one last thing before, I'm probably going to have to take this off for the track day because it'll get in my way, but just for the purposes of trying to sell my merchandise, because everything I seem to be doing at the moment costs me an absolute fortune. That red thing there, more specifically. But yeah, if you want to buy any of this sort of stuff, you can. There's a link in the description that'll take you there, and when you go to that link and it takes you to the website, you will see the link to enter the raffle for this Porsche, and you can win this Porsche for £1. And I might give you, remember to put your phone number in it as well, because not a lot of people do. Put your phone number in it, because when I ring you, it might be Christmas Day, and I'll be like, come and get your Porsche, man. You don't have to get it on Christmas Day, obviously, but it'd be fun, wouldn't it? But the link is there, so if you follow the link, and you know, just where the air fresheners are, spend another £1 or so, and you can follow, it takes you to a site called Raffle, and you can win this. Nice. I'd wait till the end of the video though, just in case I end up stuffing this around a tree or something. Touch wood. Any wood in here? No. Do you like it, mate?
It's alright, mate. It's alright.
It's no Polo bread van though, is it?
It's no bread van.
This is Aaand's workhorse. He has got a caddy van, but this is much more interesting. So he spins round in this. It's a bit more fun. If he ever needs to shift any big timber, got these massive roof racks. Nice car. Hasn't she come up well? I mean, good God, it's like a brand new one. If I was going to get you a Porsche, it was going to be a nice one, wasn't it? And this is a nice one. The paintwork, there's no dodgy bits on it anywhere. It's really, really straight, really, really clean. Tyres are amazing. Wheels are absolutely spotless. Car is so nice. And the hardtop as well. Really like it. I really like this thing. I've got a couple of little jobs to do on it now. We've got to do the wipers and we've got to do the oil change. When that's done, I can pull it out, get all my gear in it, head home, and at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, head into Oulton Park and see what this thing's like under a bit of duress, you know, under a bit of, I'm going to, you know, give it some stick. As you're supposed to with a Porsche. What do you want to do, just dod around in it? No, we're going to see what it's like where it's supposed to be. On a track. God, it's nice. This thing is so nice. Just love it to bits. All the tyres and everything are immaculate. Wheels are absolutely superb. All the paintwork is just spot on, isn't it? It really, really is. Just totally clean. A really nice example of a Boxster, I think. Interior is absolutely immaculate. It's come up so well. I mean, it's just glorious. All the seats and everything are in really good condition. A little tiny bit of wear there, but, you know, steering wheel and everything, it's all in top condition. It is really, really nice. For 112,000 miles, 113,000 miles. Really smart looking thing. The Boxster is mid-engined, right? Which means the engine is between there and the front wheels. So you've got an engine somewhere around here. And the main difference in a 911 is the engine is here. So it's in the back. It's not in between these two wheels. And that is the difference between those two cars. That one is very much a different design than this. They're two different things. Which one handles better and stuff? I mean, I'd imagine it's going to be the 911, isn't it? But the Boxster should handle incredibly well for what it is. Mid-engine cars are usually a little bit daunting, especially if it's wet tomorrow. I'm going to be doing some 50p, 20p in the trouser department. That's 50p, 20p, 50p, 20p. If you can picture that. God, this engine sounds totally unique, I think. 6-cylinder Boxster engine. It just sounds great. It's very, very Porsche-like. I am interested to know how you actually get to the engine of this car, though. Is there a Haynes manual with it? Are these the same size? Why are these ones more complicated? Oh, there you go. Oh, nice. Ow. Nice new wiper blade, because if it is hammering it down tomorrow, it doesn't matter. It's still going to go out there. Waterproof, aren't we? Oh, nice. No need for a sill cam on this car, because it's totally solid, isn't it? Rust proofing on Porsches is really good. I've got to change these plates. I do like the way these have been sort of gently fixed to the car, just with a couple of self-tappers. It's kind of better than those though, and the reason they do it is because that's on a curve, so if you just use those, it sort of sticks out a bit and looks a bit weird, but if you do that, it sort of tucks it in. It's fine, and it's plastic anyway, so it's not going to rust or anything, is it? Right, just going to drill these holes with the new one and screw it back on. Oh. Ready for anything. One annoying thing I did notice when I was cleaning the car is that these things, for some reason, I think they've been painted in the past and it's just flaking a little bit, but it's going to take like a few seconds to sort and to make them look all fancy, and I'll show you how. Because again, this could be something you could be at serious risk of overthinking and worrying. And the problem you've got is that if you start taking the clips out, taking these things out, what if you snap them? What are you going to do? It's going to cost you money, and it's just something you don't need to do. Annoying thing is though, doing any masking in rubber gloves is an absolute nightmare. Just doesn't work because the masking tape wants to stick to the gloves and nothing else. Okay, tidy. If you haven't got a hot air gun handy as well, you can just use this to heat stuff up, because it does pretty much the same job. Just to get rid of any bits of water and stuff. And get it all ready to receive a little bit of primer. Just giving it a quick key, which is probably why whatever sort of happened before paint-wise didn't work, because it wasn't sort of keyed like this. And it allowed it to all flake off. Just a bit of a sort of light dusting on that there, really just to, hopefully that's going to dry. It's freezing cold, so it doesn't dry very quickly, but I don't want to put any heat on that. I'm just going to let that sort of set while I do this one. That's the back plate swapped over, which is just, this is a clip thing, this nice little Porsche surround. So you just unclip it, put the new plate in, clip it back on. Doesn't get any simpler. What do we like? Got tons of pads left on there, and the discs look really good, so that'll be nice for the track day. Who doesn't love a red brake caliper as well? Inside here, again, just really, really clean. Everything really nice. Front discs look good, and again, tons of pads. Don't know if you can see that down there. Bit crusty at the top of that strut mount there, so whoever owns it could maybe do a bit of more wax oiling, whoever wins it. But yeah, nice, not too bad. And this side, much better, but again, possibly you want to do a little bit of stuff up there just to help its longevity. Yeah, nice. This side, pads again, amazing. And this side, good as gold. Okay, let's get it further up in the air. It's the first time I've been under the front of a Boxster, and there's not a lot to see really, because there's so many plastic covers on things. What's that like there? Is that okay? Bit of underseal peeling off there, so again, potentially a little bit of sanding back and painting to do there. All very solid though. Got my drain pan in place, ready to capture oil from there. Looks a little bit wet in places, but again, nothing too bad. I mean, I tell it had a bit of protection as well up in the crevices. Oil filters there, that's going to be really handy to change, and the sump plug there, it doesn't really get any easier than that, does it? I don't think. This car has got MOT until next May, so you've got trouble-free motor in there. Really, I'd just get in it and use the thing, enjoy it. I don't think it'd be too much to insure and stuff either. This being the 2.5, but I don't know. You'd have to tell me. It's still a Porsche at the end of the day, isn't it? Might be expensive. Depends where you live. How likely it is to get stolen. It's the most accessible, am I tightening that? Most accessible oil and filter ever, isn't it? Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Left. Oh my God, who put this on? Is this a drain plug? I'm gonna phone Rob now and ask him if he used his gun to tighten this up. Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on. What the oh my God. What the is that the drain plug, or is this the entire thing for the car or something? Am I missing it? Missing something? Why is this so tight? Doesn't want to move at all. Come on. Oh. I just snapped the end of my 1/4-inch ratchet. Has that been Aaaand in? What the hell? I need a big ratchet thing, but I've only got that size Allen key in this cord. Look at that, it's just sheared it straight off. Can't imagine for a second I should be using a bar of this size on this, but that worked a treat, so maybe I should have done to start with. Oil looks very clean though. Oh God, yeah, it looks really nice. Really nice. And there's a magnet on the end of these, and it's nothing on it. Really nice. Floor's not as nice as it could be now anymore, but that's pretty good. There's a lot of oil in this. A lot more oil than I thought there'd be. But you can see it's quite golden, quite nice. Pretty decent. Come on now. Oh, yes! Oh, nothing but the sheer strength of my two hands. This is going to spill everywhere now, isn't it? Surely it's not going to spill anything because it's upside down, isn't it? So it should all stay in there if I keep it upright. Is that how it works? No, that wasn't right. That didn't work. It's like a shower. One thing people often sort of bring up with Porsche ownership and stuff is, oh my God, it's so expensive. That was £4.40. The wiper blades were 13 quid, and the oil is just the price of, I think it's 5W40 that's going in it. It doesn't have to be expensive. And a lot of like eBays or anywhere like that, a lot of aftermarket parts, if you need brakes, they're not that dear. Everything, it's just not dear. The tyres even, not that dear. Doesn't cost a lot of money to run one of these, is what I'm saying. I don't think they're particularly great on fuel, but I suppose we're going to find out tomorrow because I've got a full tank. So we'll see how much fuel I've got left. Well, how quickly I can drain that tank. Just pop that one in there. Like so. Screw this bad boy back in. Cool. All we've got to do is fill it up with oil now. That was remarkably easy. Where do you fill it with oil? How do you get to the top of the engine? Just before I drop them all the way down and put some new oil in her, just unmask these. It's like brand new. It's amazing. just really sort of sets off the front end of the car, because it was already very clean. But with those sort of like all chipped and broken sort of things, it definitely didn't look its best. But with a nice brand new plate on it and those, God. The headlights usually go really bad on these as well, but these are pretty nice. There's like zero sort of cloudiness. I don't know how well it comes across on camera, but they're just like immaculate headlights. Really nice. And now these things are looking so good. Again, I hope it's coming across on camera, but that looks immaculate. God, that's nice. That is a really, really nice Boxster. Here's a bit of trivia for you. Did you know, okay, that the word Boxster, the reason they came up with it was because it's half of the word boxer, engine, you know, which has got boxer, and it's half speedster, the Porsche Speedster, which is a type of Porsche. So it's like speedster, boxer, put together, Boxster. Oil dipstick, oil goes in here. Oh, it's on the springy. Oh, look at that. Disco dancing. And coolant as well, which I will check levels of. If I can get it open, I'll do it with both hands. It's little things like that that make me really like Porsche. You know, just taking the time to do that extra little bit of engineering and putting the dipstick and stuff just in the boots really does make the difference, doesn't it? Am I still going to spill any though? Probably. Oh, so it's only just registering on the bottom. How much oil must it need? I've just checked the mighty book of words and it says it takes 8.25 litres of oil. Is that real? I'm going to put a couple more litres in anyway and we'll see where it gets up to, but 8.25 litres, that's loads! Where's it putting it all? Here we go again. I think that is the coolant level there. I can't see anything though. How do you know what? Can I see anything in there? Yeah, I can. I can see the redness of the coolant there. It looks like it's fine. So I won't put any in that. Don't want to overfill it. Pretty much on the button. I'm just going to give it a quick whiz round, as in start it and let it sort of idle for 10 seconds just to pump the oil round, and I'm going to try it again. Yeah, so after that little run, it's gone down to the first, well, it's gone down to the bottom of the middle bit. So let's stick some more in. I will check it again when I take it outside and fill it full of my gear, ready for tomorrow. And, oh, is that a spoiler? We'll have to have a look. So for me, it's going to be 12 hours or so, but for you, a few seconds, and we're going to go and tear the arse off this thing. No, we're not. We're going to treat it nicely because one of you could win it, so I want to treat it nicely. Good morning. It's 9 AM and freezing cold, but I think we've done really well. Look at the sky. It's the most blue sky in the world, and like it's supposed to stay like that all day. If that's the case, we're gonna have a dry track. It's freezing cold though, and we're not allowed to go on track till 9:30 because there is still a little bit of ice on there. And one thing that was interesting, I was just sort of looking this morning, this car, being 1999, has no form of traction control at all. Has nothing. So let's hope we don't go backwards into any corners, but should be fine. We'll just take it easy. We're here to have fun. You know, no heroics today. It's a winter track day. There's a lot of cars here. There's a Rover Tomcat over there, which I'm hoping we're going to see on track later on. Maybe chase round for a bit, or he might chase us, who knows. Okay, now I'm going to struggle to hear you in this helmet, so you're going to have to speak up. The sun, the winter sun, directly in my eyes. But it's fine, it's okay. Later on, when the track's drier, we'll give it some stick, but for now, we're just gonna sort of, I don't know, just have some fun. Just go around some corners, see what she's like sliding wise, you know, see how controllable she is. Whoa! She's already having a little dance. Tyres are definitely going to need to heat up a bit. You know, we're only on Aaaand and I think the rain sports on the back. God, this engine sounds so nice. I hope that's coming across on camera. All the bits of the tracks where there's good shadows, it gets a little bit slippy. Like that there. She takes it well though, just that last couple of bits there. Oh, a bit of understeer, oversteer, everything, steer. Oh, missed a gear. God, it's so nice to be behind the wheel of a Porsche on a racetrack. It feels like a Porsche. It's only a Boxster, but it feels like a Porsche. It's special, it's different. It's not like any other car. It has its own little way. The noise of the engine, that Boxster, 6-cylinder Boxster engine, it's very unique. Makes you feel like you're in something cool. The brakes are feeling good, they're starting to warm up a bit. Come on! Right, I'm going to come off, back into the pits, and just have a look over everything, check my tyres and stuff, see what everything's all about. She's an absolute beauty. Looks so well going past. Really, really pleased. Driving perfect, engines perfect, temperatures perfect, everything real nice. Kept up with that TT, didn't we? That's good. Tyres have got, you know, surprisingly, even with this climate, a bit of heating, so I'm going to have a little look, maybe take a few PSI out. Brakes and everything are looking great though, so, you know, and they're feeling really good, feeling nice and solid. There's no fade or anything, so that's really decent. So far anyway, but it's only done like 8 laps or something. Even on a really cold day, after only 8 laps, we're already on 36, which is well too much. So I want to take that down to more like, I think 28, and we'll give that a go for a few laps and we'll see what we'll try it again when it comes back. Ah, my ears. When your ears are cold and then you put a helmet on, it's not that pleasurable. Look at this weather. It's incredible. Got a fast E36 approaching from the left, so stick to the right, let him go past. Hammer down. Oh yeah, the track is looking loads drier, which is great news. Oh yeah, we can maybe give her some stick, who knows? Listen to that engine. Still a bit wet here though. Whoa, whoa! Trying to chase the E36. I'm just going to get into the swing of this, have a bit of fun. I'm not timing or anything yet. Not that I would on a track day, of course, anyway, but we're going to need something to put on the tower of power, aren't we? After this day. Oh. So let's just head back quickly to Ben from yesterday to show you what is actually powering this car. Just use that 4.5 inch angle grinder disc to kneel on. I'm in the back of Rob's workshop where he keeps engines and old bottles of oil and various engine bay covers. Unfortunately, to sort of show you the engine on this thing, I've prepared one on a pallet here, completely stripped down, ready for me to show you, which is handy, isn't it? Well, the story behind this one actually is that when Rob bought the car, he did look for one that was exactly the one that he wanted, really well looked after, service history, had all the bits done, you know, a nice thing. And that car came with a spare engine. And the reason it came with a spare engine was that when he bought the car, the guy previously said that it had a problem with oil and water mixing. And he was like, oh God, head gasket. So the idea was they were going to buy an engine and put that in. And then the previous guy, being a bit of a tech as well, had a look into it and found out that it was just an oil cooler issue, which was a lot more simpler to sort. So that was all done and renewed, which is great. So it's now got sort of new one of those in, which is, well, fantastic, isn't it? Because the more stuff like that, the easier and cheaper maintenance for the future. But what ended up happening was they had a spare engine, and here it sort of sat. And these things are worth a few quid, but it also gives me a great way of showing you what these things look like. So this is a Boxster engine. The cylinders are opposed. It's a 6-cylinder Boxster engine. So the cylinders are away from each other and they box. Like a couple of boxers in a ring, you know, fighting. And that's what they do. And then there's a big spinny bit in the middle that's powered by all of these cylinders going in and out, which, you know, is actually quite a good way of doing things, really, because it keeps the centre of gravity quite low on the engine. Because if this was a normal 6-cylinder V6, it'd be up here, it'd be really high, but all the weight is down low to the ground, which makes them really cool things to drive, you know. And this particular one that's in the car, and is the same as this one here, is a 2.5 litre, and it's got 201 horsepower, which is loads. It's a fast car. It's enough to allegedly power this thing, this Boxster, to 149 miles per hour. That's a lot, that's fast. And a 0 to 60 time of, well, I guess we're going to find out later when I get the stopwatch out. But yeah, these are really cool engines. I like the look of them, and they're not too heavy either. An interesting thing to learn about the Boxster and its engines and what it was going to have. When they were developing it, they approached Audi and said, hey Audi, can you make us a 4-cylinder engine that can go in the Boxster? That's what they were going to do for the sort of base model of the Boxster. They were going to do a 4-cylinder engine in it. And Audi came back to them and said, yeah, we've made this thing, but it's going to cost you like £500,000 for each one, or whatever it was. And Porsche were like, no thanks. And then they made this. And arguably much cooler, and definitely much better sounding. Feel how slippy it is here. I think it's a Deer's Leap, I'm not sure, can't remember the names. This is great fun on a Tuesday, isn't it? To drift it then. If any marshals are watching, I didn't mean that. That was just an accident. So far, a few laps in, I can tell you that the weight distribution of this car is a lot better than some other mid-engine rear-wheel drive cars I've driven, such as Toyota MR2s, little Rovers, you know, the MG things, and I'm sure there's been others. I even drove a electric Tesla Roadster once, which is a Lotus Elise, and it was pretty dire in every respect. But this, it feels very 50-50. The weight distribution is really good, which means that if you go into a little slide that I might have accidentally done a couple of times, the car slides out like a four-wheel drive car almost would. Does that make sense? The back doesn't slide out and the front doesn't slide out, which is really nice. Gives you a lot more confidence. I mean, I'm sure if I really had to, I could probably send it into a corner backwards, but you'd have to be really going some. There's a little Fiat 500 here in a Bath thing with a novice sticker on, so I'm just going to sort of take it easy and just let him do his thing. Or her. Little indication from there, very nice. It doesn't help that I haven't got enough power to overtake them though. Very good of them, thank you. This car as well, and this track especially being a bit greasy. I love Oulton Park. I did my racing licence here at Oulton Park. One of the things they told me was try and get your wheels straight as fast as you can. That goes, you know, for a lot of tracks as well, but I feel like with this car and this track, it's especially important because it's not like a front wheel drive car. It's good fun. It's good fun. I'm going to have to write a number 4 on that gear so I remember where it is, because I'm obviously having problems. Oh hi, it's me, voiceover Ben. Just stick around for a little bit longer and you'll see that yes, we were having problems. We were having some quite serious clutch related problems. Super slippy through there. All the temperatures and everything are looking good, which is nice. I am keeping an eye on it all. Oh, here come the fans. The brakes are a tiny bit hot.
I was just looking at your camera there. It's absolutely wonderful, that.
Got the things. I had to borrow the cable ties off them in there.
Yeah, yeah.
They did tell me.
No, I've got some in the mess room if you ever need any.
Oh, perfect. That's great. It's not my fault, I promise. The track's greasy and I'm trying to catch this M3. So, but that, you know, just good sportsmanship, isn't it? My brakes could be better. There's definitely a bit of brake wobble. Not bad. They're still working. Must be doing something right when I'm keeping up with an M3 as well. That's pretty cool. E46 M3s are like trains on tracks. One of the best handling cars I've ever driven. Except mine wasn't an M3, it was a 330, but yeah, it's pretty much the same, isn't it? Given a few M3s though, but not one of those. I'd like to do one maybe, for the channel. All I need is a spare £15,000. Christmas M3. That's very cool. The suspension's very soft as well. I wasn't expecting how rolly it is, but it is quite rolly. Oh, my foot went all the way to the floor on the brake set. I think I'm gonna take it easy. Oh dear. She had. We've got hot brakes. Like, I can't see anything like leaking out the brakes or anything. I think all the fluid's still there. I'm going to pop the bonnet in a second and have a look. I did time a couple of those laps by accident, Marshalls if you're watching. And it's not quite as fast as I thought it'd be. It's going to be, I've forgotten what my Oulton Park times were last time in like my 3 series. And other things, so it'll be interesting when we get back to the Tower of Power and I can put that thing on. I'm not sure I'm going to get much better, but I think maybe this afternoon when the track's even drier and the brakes are cool again, maybe. This is a brake fluid, and the good news is it's, you know, it's looking fine. It's still there. It's decent. You know, the worry is that would have all, you know, something would have popped and it would have all leaked out, but I think it is just a case of very hot brakes, and I kind of know that because the paint on this one's bubbling quite severely. It's got measles, mumps and rubella. Look at that though, you could bleed the caliper without taking the wheel off, or without even doing anything. You'd breathe, it's like the tyre pressure, it's almost exactly the same. So cool. It's lunchtime now anyway, so we'll leave that to cool down, get some food, some drink, and then revisit it afterwards. But what a cracking car. And that thing there, that thing's pretty cool. Really cool. But yeah, what a cracking car. Just for a bit of fun on a track day, or just, you know, nip around some B roads. What a cool bit of kit. Very straightforward to drive, no dramas, no hassle. Just when it steps out, it's not trying to kill you, you know, it's not trying to do anything. It's just, oh, bit slidey, bit correcty, and you're back on track again. Got a lot of time for it. Nice thing. Found this quiet little bit of road, which is nice and safe, and it's a 60 limit. So you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go. Stop. That was fast, but I could do it faster. It was just so slippery then, so slippery. And I struggled to get it into second. Let's try that again. 3, 2, 1, go. Stop. Nice, that's fast. That is fast. It bogged down a little bit at the start. Might be able to do it quicker. 2, 1. Bogged down again. Stop. Oh, it's better. I don't think I'm going to get any better than that. Because the road's so greasy, if I try it, I'm just going to get wheel spin if I try and rev it up, and if I don't, it bogs down. So I think that's as good as I'm going to get. If the road was a bit drier, maybe, but it's a pretty good time. It's a pretty good time. Bearing in mind, the car's 25 years old. When it was new, this car would do 0 to 60, apparently according to Google, in 6.7 seconds. So we'll see what I did it in when we get back to the Tower of Power. Just waiting to go back on track for the afternoon. Do you remember me saying earlier on in this video that we have the Americans to thank for these things, which is a weird thing to say, isn't it? But the reasoning behind it is that when Porsche, sort of at the start of the 90s, when they were thinking about designing this car and they're in a bit of dire straits, they were selling 60% of their cars to America. So America was essentially keeping Porsche propped up. So when it came to designing a new car, they had to make sure that the Americans were going to be okay with it, you know, because this is a very small car and Americans can be a little bit big. So they designed a prototype of this and stuck it on a ship or plane, whatever, took it over to the States, and they said, do you like it? Thank God the Americans and all the buyers in America, because obviously a lot of these, you know, Porsche dealerships in America, they're sort of family owned, you know, and they were like, yeah, we like it. But thank God they said that, because it gave Porsche then the ability to know that they're going to get orders from America, bearing in mind 60% of the cars went out there, so they could financially take the risk in producing a completely different car like the Boxster. And yeah, it saved them. So technically we have kind of got to thank the Americans, and for 911s and everything now, because again, if it wasn't for this, Porsche very well may have gone under. Don't like this helmet. Kind of feel like you're, I don't know, in the womb or something. Just squeezes your head, you know, and then you have to sort of, when you take it off. It's worth mentioning as well that I've not even used half a tank of fuel yet. I've just had a baked potato with some tuna, and altogether so far that's cost me £7. The fuel's probably cost me, I don't know, 35, and the track day itself cost me 139. Winter track days are less expensive, is what I'm getting at. In the summer, in the height of the season, a track day here can be above 300 quid. So 139 quid in the winter to do Oulton Park on a day like this. Granted, you know, you have to be lucky with the weather. If you do get lucky, it's a bit of a bargain. I love these dials. Big rev counter right in the middle of the screen is perfection. This bit here is dried up nicely. Oh, still, it's still maybe not 100%. This is the damp bit of the track by far, for sure. Lap I got earlier was 2 minutes 20, which is okay but not amazing. This is a standard car with slightly not great brakes. Let's see what we can do now though. Whoa! Overcooked that a touch, didn't I? Okay, maybe the tyres are a little bit cold still. Let them warm up a touch, I think. The noise this thing's making through my helmet, the muffled sounds, it's so good. Great sounding car. understeer. Nice. Oh no, we've got a helmet off the track. Sliding towards the other side of the track. Perfect. Why is that? Oh, why are we on red? Oh dear. Wasn't my fault, was it? Wonder if it was because of that helmet at the top that had broken down. Yeah, I think it's this fella here. Little bit of a red flag for an old classic car. These are my laps so far. Don't know if you can see those. Of the ones that I've recorded the times of anyway. So my best was 2:21:25, and the last lap where I sort of really went for it before the little car broke down, 2:15, which is awesome. I'm not sure I'm going to get much off that. If I had really good brakes, I might get that down to 2:10, sorry, knock another 5 seconds off that with decent brakes. But with these brakes, I think I'm probably there. You know, it's just for fun. I don't want to break the car. I'm, you know, treating the car nicely. It's one of your guys' new car, isn't it? But I'm really pleased with that. I think that's going to look good on the Tower to Power. If you want to know what lap timer I use as well, it's called Harry's lap timer. It's got lists of all the tracks, and you just press the track, put it somewhere, and it records. So you're not looking at it, you don't have to see it, it's just out of sight and it's just doing it in the background. It's pretty good. I've used it for years. It's pretty decent. This bit's a bit boring though, isn't it? Should we just go straight into the action? So here's my racetrack review of this 1999 Porsche Boxster 2.5. It is a very easy to drive car. It's forgiving for a mid-engine car. They aren't usually, but this one is. It is forgiving. It's fun, it's fast. Any negatives? Gear change is a bit stiff and the brakes are a bit rubbish. Aside from that though, not really. Considering it's only the 2.5, it's pretty fast. As a budget B-Road blaster and a track day hero, you could do a lot worse. And one of the best bits about it is, every time you look down there, you see a Porsche badge. Come on! Houston, we have a problem. Nothing's ever straightforward, is it? I was just about to take poor Ellie out for some fast laps, and clutch master cylinder's gone. The clutch pedal just sits down there and doesn't come back up again. I have to pull it up. It's not working. Bugger. I thought there might be something up with it when I was driving along, and it was sort of not going into gear as easy, but I thought, oh, maybe it's just me, because I was going pretty hard. But the clutch master cylinder has gone. It's all right though, because we've got a good time and I've had a great day. I don't know if it's definitely the master cylinder or not, but the sort of brake fluid light's on. Brakes are fine though, and there is fluid in there, so I don't know if it's a separate system for the master cylinder for the clutch. You can drive a car without a clutch, so you don't need a clutch to drive a car. It's not ideal, but you can. You just have to use sort of rev matching and stuff, so I will demonstrate that for you now, because I've done it millions of times, annoyingly. The only problem is junctions, but there's only, I think, 1 or 2 junctions. So as long as traffic's okay, we'll be okay. Everything else though on the car, superb. God, what a nice, good, reliable thing. It possibly needed that anyway, so at least whoever does win it's going to get a nice new one of those. Reliable, you know. I'm testing the car for you. I'm putting it through its paces. I'm making sure that it doesn't need anything, because that's the kind of guy I am, you know. By doing this type of thing, I'm testing every element. And that's how you do a junction. You just got to look, rev match it up to first and go for it. No hesitation, no dawdling. And then you're back on the road, and everybody else just thinks you're driving normally, even though you've got no clutch. Oh well. So I'm at a set of traffic lights. The car's not running. When these traffic lights go green, I've got to start it in first and then go from there. And that's kind of how you do that. It's not ideal, I know. That's how you do that. Nobody around you knows the struggle that you're going through. Clutches are overrated. Made it back to base nice and easily. I've got to get it inside now and get some stuff ordered and fit it. Ho ho ho! Hello there! Welcome to where Santa keeps all of his lovely Tasty Classics merch. You can buy any of these things, such as hoodies, a lovely bobble hat, keep your head warm in the winter, which it isn't at the moment while we're filming this, and it's very warm. And a Tasty Classics mug you could buy to put your hot chocolate in. You could buy an air freshener. If your sleigh smells like shit, you could use an air filter. Put the air filter in. No, an air freshener. Not filter, air freshener. Santa doesn't know what things are. What else have we got? What about a cap? You can buy a cap if you like from Santa. They're very, very cool. Lovely things. Santa doesn't make those. Santa and his elves don't make those himself. He buys them from China. What about a Tasty Classic sticker book. This is something Santa and his elves have been working on for a long time. This is very cool. You buy packs of stickers in a similar way to football cards or Pokemon cards, but this is much cooler. Some of the stickers are very rare and they're shiny, and there's some stickers that are common, and you'll get quite a lot of those, and then you can put them in the back pages, or if you've got extras, that is, or you find where they actually go and put them there. Why, instead of me explaining it, why don't we have a look at this little boy who's got one and he's filling in his stickers now?
Right. Put it in.
No, wait, you got to say, I've got a truck or something like that.
3, 2, 1, action.
I've got a rusty old truck. I'm gonna have to put it in here. Looks better in the book than outside.
He seems very happy, doesn't he, that little boy? So these are all on the website now, and they're surprisingly cheap. So you can buy one of those for Christmas. If you're watching this with your husband and he says, no, don't worry about it, I don't really want one of those. Oh, he's only joking. He does want one of these. So go on to the website, which is up here somewhere, and buy one for him, because he will love it, I promise. Huge thank you to old Saint Nick for taking time out of his busy schedule to talk us all through that. That's very good of him. Those sticker books are amazing. I'm going to show you a little clip shortly of us making the packets of them, because they arrived yesterday and I'm really excited. It's possibly the best thing I've ever done in my life, those sticker books. I mean, that Father Christmas has ever done in his life. Anyway, I think the slave cylinder is in this bit. Where the heck? I have to cut a hole in this? I don't know. So I'm going to take this wheel off. I'm going to have a look inside there, because apparently that's where all the brake things are. Or no, maybe that's in the front. I don't know. I'm just going to pull some stuff out. Generally, my way of working is pull on things until the location of whatever it is that you're looking for becomes apparent. Whoa, nice. Tyre is immaculate. I wasn't going crazy yesterday, you know, I was keeping the car nice. But the tyre's lovely. These are really good Unimoil Rain Sports. I like Unimoil Rain Sports. They're decent. Good tyres. Not cheap ones. I like them because they've got little sharks on them. Well, the new ones did anyway. I don't know. Can't see any little sharks. But the new ones have got little sharks on. Apparently, we need to look up there somewhere. No, sorry, up there somewhere. What's this? What's this? I can see evidence. This looks like brake fluid. That is brake fluid. Where's it leaking from? Please be the slave cylinder. That coiled bit of hard line there, that goes to the slave cylinder. And that is brake fluid, and it's coming out of there. So if it's coming out of there, then it's in the sort of, you know, it's in the bell housing bit of the gearbox, which I'd imagine is where any leaking brake fluid from a slave cylinder would go. So it possibly is the seal on the slave cylinder. All I've got to do though is take a couple of bolts out there and a couple of other things, and then we can get it through this hole here. How easy that's going to be, I can only begin to imagine. It's going to be painful, especially when I can't feel my fingers, but we'll give it a go. It's going to be super difficult to sort of get anything in here and record it and show it at the same time. So I'm going to take this bolt out here, and then, can you see this bolt here? This little, I don't know what it is, 13 mil or something, 12 mil. I'm going to take that out, and then this whole thing should come out on the flexi, and then I can, you know, pull it sort of down a bit and inspect it a lot better. But that's all that's holding the slave cylinder in, I think, unless that bolt is as well. But I've put a load of plus gas on it, so I'll start trying to get it out. I've had to put the space heater on and pull the shutter down a bit as well, just to try and take some of the chill out the air, but it is Baltic in here. It's really long, but it's quite thin. I'm talking about this. But it's just easy to get into these things. Do you reckon this is actually going to undo though? Oh God. Oh, you beauty, thank God for that. Blimey. Nice, little Allen key thing. Okay. It's working. It can work on a Porsche yourself, you just need to have about 4,000 extensions for your ratchets. Easy. So as you can see, this is the old slave cylinder, and yeah, it's pouring brake fluid out of there. So that is bust, which is, I mean, it's just the best news, isn't it? It's quite easy to get off. It was like 2 bolts. Bleeding, it's going to be a different story, but whatever. What I've got to do now is get that pipe out of there, which I'm not going to do until the new one arrives, just to make sure that the new one is the same as this. Put it all back together, and then we'll try and back bleed it, which is bleeding it from the bottom up, and then we might have a clutch again, which would be awesome, and we can take it for a wash, get it all parts up, get it all ready for its new owner. Nice. Looks pretty much like the right one, doesn't it? Yeah, that's happy days. Really, really good. So we'll get that installed. That is an excellent fit. Real nice, tight, snug fit, which is going to be really handy, and I've got a big load of it, so I can push fluid up through this rather than pushing it down into it, because air likes to go up and it's hard when you try to push air down because it just keeps going back up again. So that's why bleeding clutches can be a bit of a pain, and brakes, but brakes tend to be a bit easier. Don't know why. I think it's because it's going from one cylinder thing to, I don't know why. New one, which is up there somewhere, is installed, and now I've just got to loosen the bleed nipple and put some pipe on it. This is the first lot of sticker packs, which are ready to go, and they're just absolutely cool as you like. Look at those, super nice. You just open the top and get your stickers and put them in your sticker book. How cool is that? Very smart. Step 1 to bleed in the clutch is make sure the clutch is in the upright position, which it now is. Then with the reservoir here, which is now got a lot less fluid in it than it did before. Get the little filter thing out of there and use your old sort of anything you've got lying around that might work, and just empty as much of the brake fluid out as you can, trying to avoid spilling it everywhere, because we're going to be sending a load of brake fluid up into this through the system. And we might end up doing that a couple of times, because we're going to be sending quite a bit through to make sure that we've got no air whatsoever in this system. So I've got my self bleeder, my pressure vessel, and I'm just going to give it a couple of little pumps until fluid starts to come out of here, once I've attached the new end of this big bit of hose that I bought. Hopefully we'll see. There you go, fluid shooting through there. Now very quickly, before it comes spurting out this end, you're going to get ready to fit that to the bleed nipple of your master cylinder. And don't fit it yet, just wait for it to start coming out when there's no bubbles left, because you don't want to force any extra air into it if you can avoid it. And there you go, on it goes. Nice. Oh, didn't even hardly spill any. So now you can see all this fluid there's an air bubble there. That's frustrating. But it is going into the system. So now, with another couple of pumps, that is pumping fluid back up through the clutch, and I've just got to go over to the other side, watch that level rise, and then suck it out as it's doing it. And we'll just wait for a bit. Let's just make sure there's enough pressure behind it, and then we'll lock that bleed nipple off and test the clutch. Got to be quick filming this, but I don't know if you can see any bubbles or anything coming out of there, but you can see it filling up slowly maybe. It's hard to sort of see, hard to catch it on camera, but I can see little bubbles popping up, which is really cool. That's the air coming out of the system, so I've just got to baste some more into the tub, make sure it doesn't overfill, and then lock it off. Okay, not having the best of times. We've got problems. There's just brake fluid everywhere. It's the slippiest floor in the world, and where's my torch? It's all gone wrong. All of my tools are just covered in brake fluid. I hate it. And this is as well. Push fitting up there has pushed out. I got a perfect pedal and then it just went pop and popped itself out. It's rubbish. So I don't know if this is because, I hate saying this because I always try and save money where I can, but is it a cheap part? I don't know. I have had situations like this before. Push fitting on a clutch though is a bit extreme. Right, I'm gonna have to take it out again, have a look at it, and sort of compare it to this Sachs one, and maybe have a little look inside there and see what's holding it in and what's holding it in on the other one. So they both say that they're Sachs on them, although this one has a lot more, I don't know, just looks a bit more official. Inside there, I've just had the torch inside. It does look a little bit different, looks a little bit more substantial on this one maybe. I kind of want like an original part, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to dry this because everything was covered in brake fluid, so I'm wondering if it just got a bit slippy and pushed out. So I'm going to dry everything with brake cleaner and reinstall it. But if that doesn't work, I'm going to ask them for a another one of these original equipment one. Another thing is there's movement in that clip from side to side, and that affects how much it's gripping on the thing. And if it's just like that, it's not gripping at all on that side. So maybe I didn't have it properly all the way home. I need to make sure when it goes on that I've sort of pulled on these two tabs here and that it's properly locked in place. Might be the thing. My sunny disposition is taking a battering. I've just put it all back together again, and yeah, it's just popped straight out again. What an absolute nightmare. So I don't know what it is. I think it's just crap. It's crap. It's bad. So you know, he's just masturbating. You got bleed. You're doing all sorts of stuff. Oh, right, I'm going to phone Smiths and say, look, where'd you buy that from? Whereabouts in China did you buy that from? And can you get me a better one? Squeeze my bloated carcass in here again. I've changed the metal clip that was holding the pipe in. Gone again. Just say it just went blop straight to the floor. What a palaver. So I just phoned Smiths, and it was an LUK one that I got sent. It says Sachs on the side, but just doesn't look the same as the Sachs one that came off it. I don't know. I've ordered another one, which apparently this is a Sachs one, and that's coming tomorrow. So I'm going to fit that in the morning, and hopefully that'll do the job. Because if it doesn't, I don't know if it might be that pipe, the coiled pipe, maybe the bit where it's sort of supposed to seal on. I'm going to try and clean it up a bit, but maybe that's shot. Again, I'm not 100% sure. I could try and put something around it. I don't know. But hopefully this one tomorrow will just be a case of plug it in, stick the new clip on, and when I get it out of the packet, I'll be able to see if it's a little bit better in terms of quality. Right, okay, I'm going to have a bit of a tidy up. It's getting dark. Rob from A51 has just come down to deliver the spare engine for this car, and he's shown me something that it didn't even occur to me. And he said it happens all the time on these. It's the same as quite a few cars, these slave cylinders. He says when it does happen, because what it is, he says that little black bit on the metal pipe's getting a little bit worn, so it's just pushing past the spring because there's enough movement in it. So he said put one of those around where it goes in over the pipe, and it stops that expanding enough to let it out. Don't know if that's going to work or not, but I'm going to try it. If it saves me waiting for another one for the morning, doing it all again, you know I'm giving it a go. And then should hopefully be, you know, spot on and trouble free if it's got that extra clip to it. So I'm going to give that another go now, and we'll see how I get on. It's a solid -50 here in the Alaskan wilderness. It's not popping off anymore, but I've not got a full clutch, so I need to do more bleeding. Why is it so easy? I've been back bleeding this thing for what seems like an eternity now. I must have put a couple of things through it, and I'm just not getting the full pedal. It's going down and it's coming up a little bit, but not returning all the way, which is really annoying. Anyway, I just had this other slave cylinder. Now the other one said Sachs on it, but it was an LUK part. So let's see what this one looks like. It's exactly the same. It's an identical part to the LUK one, just came in a different box. That's a little bit frustrating, isn't it? I'm not sure if I should try and bleed it again, because I've tried back bleeding it. Maybe I tried bleeding it the other way. I don't know, it's just, clutch is such a pain. Try one more lot of bleeding that way, and then if not, maybe try and replace that slave cylinder. I think it should, I don't think it's the slave cylinder because it's not leaking, so there's nothing else it could be really. The only way to bleed a clutch is persistence. That's it. The only way to bleed a clutch is persistence. There's no other way. You just got to try and try and try and try and try and try. What I have done though is I have ordered myself a Sykes Pickavant vacuum brake bleeder, which is a similar thing to what they use in main dealers and stuff, just to save myself some time, because you know the methods that I'm using, they do work, but not all the time, and I need something that works first time straight away. Anyway, you'll be pleased to know the clutch is now working. God, thank God. So clutch is working, that's great. I've just got to prepare the car now, get it all nice and clean, and then we're going to go for a little spin in the car just to make sure it's all okay. And annoyingly, I've lost the towing eye cover. I don't know what I did with it. I'm sure I just put it in my pocket. I'm sure I did. But the little spin that we're going to go on now, my last little spin in this Boxster, maybe, well, waiting for one of you guys to win it, is going to be back to Oulton Park just to see if I left it on the floor or something, see if it was anywhere near where I parked when I took it off. That'd be handy, wouldn't it? The clutch thing, bit of a pain in the ass, but it is what it is, you know? And the car now is perfect and just looks stunning. It wants for nothing. What a great bit of kit for someone to win on Christmas Day. And if you do want to win that car on Christmas Day, this lovely Boxster, it's only going to cost you £1, but you can buy more tickets if you want. But there's a link in the description, and it's above this bit now. It takes you to a raffle website, and there you put all your stuff in, do some bits, and I could be ringing you on Christmas Day and saying, well done, you've won a Porsche. And you can enjoy this car, take it for a spin, do what you want. It's a great thing, and I thoroughly recommend driving one at least once, you know, so you can see what they're all about. And it won't look bad on your driveway either, will it? So yeah, head to the link in the description, get some tickets, and I could be seeing you next year possibly, or whenever you want to pick it up. I'll probably be here on Boxing Day. Meet you here on Boxing Day, do it, whatever, don't mind. That car is so immaculate. I'm so pleased with it. I love it. Great little thing. This has been like one of my favourite episodes I've done. I don't know if you've enjoyed it or not. If you have enjoyed it, let me know in the comments. I thought it was a lot of fun. I'd like to do more stuff like this. Anyway, this is the Tower of Power. We've got lots of numbers written on the Tower of Power, but none with the words Porsche Boxster next to them. Until now. 0 to 60, where do you think the Porsche Boxster landed? Apparently, it's supposed to do it in 6.7 seconds from brand new. This one though, the best I could get out of it, and I could probably get better if it was a dry road, I could probably get better. But we did it in 7, which is good, 0.75. So it goes just in between these two here, so I'll have to move everything down. And I put wet on there as well because it was very greasy. But 7.75, that's pretty cool. I reckon I could have got it past the Audi. I reckon I could have got a second place with Boxster if conditions were perfect, but it's a pretty good time. Top 3. What about the lap times though? This is the Nürburgring side. This is the Anglesey side, as I call it, the Anglesey GP side. It's complicated how we can make a lead board, right, when we do different tracks. But if you want to understand the mathematics behind how we do it, go to the Porsche episode, the very first Tower of Power episode, the 924 episode, and I explain the mathematics. It all involves touring cars and how fast they do the circuits in, then you can work out how fast you do it in. But the main thing to remember is it's not scientifically accurate and it is just a laugh. However, it's fun to see. And the Porsche Boxster would do a theoretical of Anglesey, because it did Oulton in 2:15, in 2:02.76. That C4, I did the maths again, because I haven't done the maths on this for a while, to check that the C4 would actually do, you know, Anglesey in that time, because that's what we did Cadwell in. And yeah, it does check out. It was just such a nippy little car. You could throw it round like nobody's business. And obviously the Boxster at Oulton Park, it was a little bit greasy in places, but it wasn't too bad. Anyway, it's only theoretical. I think realistically, if I put both of those next to each other, I probably could. Same with the Copen. So maybe we need a better mathematical equation. I always get that sort of thing. Whenever I'm going to get rid of a car, I always think like, it'd be nice if I could keep it, wouldn't it? I know I can't keep everything, but why can't I keep everything, you know? It's not fair, is it? I should be able to. But at least it's going to be nice knowing that one of you can have this car. I hope I can find that towing eye cover though. I've checked my bag and everything, I've checked everywhere. Oh, it's good! It's good! It sounds well. Sounds really well. Oh, nice thing. I want to go back on the track again. What should we take next? Let me know in the comments if you've got any ideas for cars that are, you know, reasonably priced that I can go out and get. I was thinking, I saw a mini Cooper S R53. Why don't we do one of those? Go and find one of them. Take it for a bit of a test. See what it's like. Do anything it needs. Sounds like fun, doesn't it? Oh no, wait. I've got a Vauxhall Rascal to restore first. I hope the weather warms up as well, because it's going to be a pain having to paint that in -1 degrees. It's going to be frustrating, isn't it? One thing we never talked about on this car, actually thinking about it, was the rear spoiler coming up at 75 miles. Did you see on some of the videos? So we're driving past, flying around the circuit, the little spoiler raising up. I think it's 75 mile an hour that spoiler comes up on. Pretty cool though, isn't it? Back at Oulton Park again. I've just got to like look at the floor. Just going to walk around everywhere we were parked and try and find, is that it? Nope. Try and find a little towing eye cover. Is it round here somewhere? Sadly, that is a negative 10-4, good buddy. I can't find the towing eye cover. Might be in the car somewhere. I need to have a little bit of a better look. But it is so cold. There's ice on the floor here. I'm gonna head back to base. So if you have enjoyed any of this epic Porsche Boxster adventure, then let me know in the comments. Let me know if you have, and you could do me a massive favour, huge favour. I don't ask for much on this channel. You don't have to support it financially in any way, but if you could hit the subscribe button, that would be amazing. I'd like to get to that magic 100,000 one day, so if you could just hit the subscribe button, that would be so cool. I'd really appreciate it. If you do, I'll do more cool stuff and we'll have more fun times together. So that about wraps it up then. And again, thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And if you've hit the subscribe button, thanks for doing that as well, because you didn't have to, but you did, and I really appreciate it. And look, if you want this car, this awesome bit of Porsche, it's going to cost you £1. Go to the link in the description and you might be the lucky one that I call on Christmas Day. But either way, it's a bit of fun, isn't it? And it helps me keep the channel going. Right, I'll see you next Friday. I don't know what for, maybe some rascal action. But until then, see you later. Bye. If you're looking for something to do with the rest of your evening or the rest of your day or whatever, I do a podcast that you could watch. You could put it on in the background while you're doing your ironing or something. It's pretty cool. I do it with my mate WYNNE. He's an ex-RAF pilot, search and rescue as well. Loads of cool stuff like that. And we sit in a pub and we talk about planes and cars. It's pretty fun. The link is in the description. It's called Wheels and Wings Podcast, and this is what it looks like. So Stellantis owns all of these cool brands, Fiat, Alfa, Vauxhall, Peugeot, Citroën, Dodge, Jeep, a few other American ones, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And none of them are making any money anymore, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So they're sort of like, you've got 2 years to turn your business around. And I've just been looking at it and just, yeah, it's crazy. And it's very sort of worrying that I don't want to see brands disappear.
Yeah.
I love the little Fiat 500s, love the Alfa Romeo Mitos, you know, the Giulias, all this sort of stuff. I don't want to see these guys go.